G'day guys, welcome to Motovlog. I'm Rob Hamilton. So happy to have you on board. Thanks for watching. So over the past year or so, I've shot a number of awesome, sick, dope looking customs on my Instagram. You haven't seen my Instagram, jump over there right now and have a little stalk, have a little swipe. But one bike that I shot in particular was this one right here. It's a GB400 owned by Sam. And now this dude, he just built this thing in his backyard. Like, look at it. It looks incredible. He built it for around 4,000 bucks. This bike was absolutely like an absolute piece of garbage. And I mean that with the utmost respect because look at it now. So he bought this like back in, I don't know, it was like 2016 or something like that. And this is when I had my very first bike as well, my SRV 250, and I was riding all alone, had no friends, didn't know who had bikes, didn't know anything about bikes. He ended up posting a photo up on the socials about some wiring job, and I'm an auto electrician. I saw the post and I was just like, man, are you serious? Like, I can fix this, I know. And so I went over his place and then we just, you know, just spoke bikes. That was the first time I've ever like hung out with someone else that actually rode bikes. And Sam's had these bikes since then, and he's just been adamant in fixing it up. So we'll take a closer look, we'll say hi to Sam, see what he's been up to. He's an absolute mofo. We actually met during our degree days studying music. He's an awesome guitarist, full blues player. He's a blues guitarist. What an absolute lord. And I don't think right now he doesn't actually know where we're going, so
where's the fairing from, what is it? So it's an AirTech fairing, pretty easy to find. The model's an AJ SM7, and they have a partnership, or they team up with the guys that do the screens for stuffs and plastics. Yeah, there's the little label there representing. As far as sort of things that I've kind of done or had to go over with any bike of this kind of age, and particularly one that was sort of left out in the weather and dropped and in a pretty sad state, you know, you have to go over it pretty thoroughly. So from the beginning, it needed a little bit of mechanical work, electronics. Most of it was sort of rather slapped together. A lot of it didn't work. The electric start didn't work. The lights didn't work properly. Yeah, so it was a bit of a basket case, but
this is like your standard old school.
Yeah.
Everyone's played with it. Everyone's mucked around.
Yeah. Thanks team, but let's start again. So yeah, going over it, obviously the fairing. The cow was from a company in Brisbane. It's Moston Motorcycles.
Right.
They were doing them. I'm not sure if they still are, but that's where that's from. Originally this one, so it's a GB400TT special edition. There wasn't many of them that came out to Australia generally. This one was imported obviously from Japan. And this bike originally had a twin seat on it. a fellow in Japan, I managed to get the single seat off because the original seat was ripped. So really, you know, if you got any rain on it, it was ride with a wet butt. Which is not much fun. Everybody knows that. So yeah, managed to score one of those. Yeah, going over the engine, sort of had to. It's a pretty common story with these things. If you abuse these engines, don't keep them topped up with oil, and you know, don't run them right, you will get wear and tear. I mean, it's like that with any engine, but particularly these guys tend to suffer a bit. So I had the camshaft and the cam lobes reprofiled, so it runs a lot better.
Who did that?
I had the guys at Surfside Motorcycle Garage send it away and do that for me.
Okay.
They did most of the engine stuff that was a bit too big for me to tackle in a garden shed. So as you can imagine, without having hoists and all the right tools, there's a line that I drew on a lot of it just to take the heartache out of it and not make any stupid mistakes.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that's the part of the beauty of, in the long run, taking so long to complete the bike, is that I managed to avoid too many painful and stupid mistakes, and I could take my time and put the money into it when I could. That's really all that I've done to the engine, apart from the general maintenance kind of stuff. Fork seals, shorter fender on the front. The original one, you're probably familiar with if you know these bikes, has the strut across the side.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
The one that was on the bike was a bit bent up and damaged from being crashed or dropped. Stainless steel spokes, I had the guys at Surfside sort of that for me as well. Just polished up the forks, there's nothing special going on there, but new fork seals. Brake master cylinder off some kind of Suzuki that works with the brake system. Braided brake line. That's all I've got to say about that. Oh yeah, English made Halcyon mirrors. They're pretty sort of in keeping with the style. Not that you put mirrors on a race bike, but
yeah,
that's the
right.
vibe.
Yeah, you need legalities.
Yeah, I don't like getting pulled over, so I'm gonna put some mirrors on it. The exhaust. So originally on these bikes, they have this dirty, great big collector box underneath them, just right under there, and it really sort of chokes the exhaust system on them. They don't like it. When you go to take off, crack the throttle too quick, they stall. It's a pretty common story with these bikes. You take that out. Some folks like to replace the carburetor as well. Mine's the standard one. Take that out and the whole thing breathes a lot easier, runs a lot nicer. So that exhaust system's from Black Widow, the downpipes, and silencer is from Cone Engineering. Yeah, so obviously the biggest change and the thing that really makes this bike is the paint, and I can't sort of say just how much I respect and I'm so pleased with Sam Muldoon's work at Colour Fuel. He's great guy.
Same guy that did mine. He's like an absolute. He's just a lord at what he does. Like it's ridiculous, and that's what's getting like the most attention from this bike. Hey, like the amount of people that are just like, man, your colour, what the heck? Yeah, like it looks sick. And how the teal colour, the teal-y colour. Whose idea was it? So the teal colour came from the key. That was the idea. So whose idea was that? Was it yours or was it Sam's?
Yeah, it was my idea. I'd seen it and I'd always sort of liked that type of colour anyway. So I saw it and it grew on me. Yeah, I was going to go with like a more traditional kind of the GB colour scheme, probably the gold and black, which isn't what this one would have come with. I think Rob will have a couple of photos that it'll show how bad it was. But it was just like rattle can spray silver tank, but originally it would have been from what I'm told, for that model, like a light grey overall, and then the side would have been a lighter grey again. Yeah, we worked through this idea with Sam, and then yeah, I wanted a stripe over the top. I thought about the panel on the side, but once again it was just a bit too busy. So we thought about putting the white stripe with the broken line, and this is actually a brown line which actually sets off really nicely.
Oh, is that brown? Oh, this one here, yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
So it's a dark brown, and same on the side of the fairing as well.
Right.
And that was Sam's idea, just to sort of balance off the green. It's a secret.
The man of many mysteries.
Don't chop it. I didn't. You don't need to with them. I've heard it talked about. Like there's plenty of other bikes that don't lend itself so well to it. It's sort of, as you can see, it has that styling to begin with.
Yeah, it actually doesn't need to be chopped. Hey.
Yeah, you don't really need to do it. I suppose the only other things that I'd sort of make sure is just the condition of them running. This one was reasonably good considering how bad it looked. I had a reasonable understanding of how things work mechanically, but this being my first bike, obviously there's a a steep learning curve as to what you can and can't do. Make sure it's safe enough to be on the road before you go riding it on the road.
Yeah, and like that's a common mistake I feel like that first time riders or first time bike owners do make. Like they buy like a cheap bike, yeah, it's cheap, it's cool, and then like it's funny how the more experienced you come with bikes and everything, the more like high-tech bike you end up buying. So it's becoming safer the more experience you gain, where it should really be the opposite way around at least. Like you should start off with something like this, with ABS, with traction, before you hit something old school with nothing. But then you do learn the better way as well. So you learn on something like this, and then you step up, and then all of a sudden you're just like, holy crap, I can do anything right now. I can't do anything.
I mean, I love the bike, but you know, it's like that. A lot of people say you build something like this. I've had the enjoyment of the process. I've had the enjoyment of riding it, and it's time for somebody else to get some enjoyment out of it. And I love the bike, and I really hope that the next person can just really enjoy cruising around on it. They're not a fast bike, they're not a high-powered bike, but you get them out on some of those windy roads, and it's nice and light, corners well. It's just a lot of fun. Partial with the Triumphs.
Hey!
Wouldn't mind doing a Bonnie.
Yeah, sick. I can see you rocking a Bonnie.
Yeah, definitely to my wife. Katie's pretty patient and allowed me to spend many hours in the shed just tinkering away until I got it just right. And yeah, so like Robert mentioned, this bike's been a long time coming. So yeah, I had started working on it before we'd even got married, and then continued to work on it for a while since. So she's been awesome. There's a Facebook group that I got involved with, the GB bikes in general, the 250, 400 and the 500, and great bunch of folks there, a lot of information. You're not going to run us down. It's okay. So yeah, the Facebook group, Steve, Doug, Paul, all the folks there have been really helpful. They've got manuals and tips and things that, you know, it's part of any kind of community when you've got like-minded people that have experienced these models. You get to know some sort of inside information, adjustments that can be made specific to these bikes.
He's like the best blues guitarist literally in Sydney. He's Sam the blues man Sam.
Thanks, Rob. Always, sort of playing around with different groups and things. This sort of period in time is testing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, people are coming up with some great ways to sort of deal with all that kind of stuff, online things, and apart from the playing guitar, I'm also an audio engineer, so mixing and recording other people's work as well. So yeah, definitely very busy with all that kind of stuff. And if you want to know more about it, put some links in too. We can do that. We have the technology.
Yeah, absolutely. We are all up with the tech. All right, that is it from us. This is Sam. Thanks, bro.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, no problem, man. That's sick. That was a good time. Nice little run. That was literally his send off. His little send off for his baby here. Crazy. This thing has been around for a while, and it's going to be sad for even me to see it go. It's such a delightful machine to see. Like, it just stands out. And people are just writing in the group, just being like, "Yeah, I've seen. Isn't that you've been there, haven't you? I've seen that. Yeah, I saw you yesterday at the place. You can't hide."
Yeah, there is only one.
Yeah, literally. And that's what customizing is all about. Is just like making, you know, your vision just sort of come to life and stand out. Like, so that is Sam's personality right there, and he has his story, and it's his thing, and it always will be. But to the new owner, you're going to enjoy this. It's going to be a good time for you. My arm's starting to get tired, so I'm gonna call it here. Oh, what a guy. That was sick. So he's literally just run off now because he's got a guy looking at it. So yeah, like it did his time though. Like, man, he's had that for a while. He's had that for a long while, and it's done him well. He's learnt a lot on it, and that thing has come a damn long way. Holy crap. It was literally just like the biggest piece of garbage. I was like, man, why the hell did you buy this thing? But he saw it. He had the vision and he executed, and man, it's turned out so nice. So he built that for, like I said, around the 4K mark. Most of it was a backyard job, mainly apart from the stuff that he said, the spray job and all that sort of stuff, all those little bits that are sort of hard to do at home. I think we did good though. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, do I ride in that bit of grass there? I sort of just want to tear it up around here, eh? It's a cool little spot. I'm pretty sure there are cameras everywhere though, so there's that. Oh yeah. Oh, like old times, eh? If you're after any of those parts that we spoke about, anything that grabs your attention, check out the description, because we're going to be like trying to list out as much as we can to help you guys out. If you're building a GB400, if you're just interested in fairings or whatever in general, hit them up. We're not getting paid or anything from them. They don't even know this is really happening. It's just a new venture, it's a new start. I feel like the first episode was sick. I'm so glad that Sam was the first one, especially literally being the day before he sold it. Yes, we got in there. We got in there. It was like we were planning this for so long. And it was either like I was away, he was away, it was raining, but we got there, it was sick, and we're so stoked. I'm so happy. Alright guys, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit like, hit subscribe if you'd like to see this stuff weekly. These sort of episodes, I'm aiming for 1 a month. For now, it might become a mad thing where it's just going to be happening all the time. But until then, legends, I'll see you next week. Ride safe and say hi to your mum for me. Peace!